politics, scared to show your support. So a few times now, people wouldn't talk to me on camera because they are afraid of publicly supporting Tommy Robinson. Why do you think people are scared to publicly support?
Basically, they start being labelled. They start labelling people. They're fighting for the jobs. If you work for a certain organisation that's got far left thinking managers, whatever, you can be obviously disciplined for having a political view. They're frightened of losing the jobs, and they're frightened of the repercussions, because if they do say they support him, he's got a lot more support than what people say. Heck of a lot more.
Media labels everybody who supports him, you know, either a Nazi or a racist, and I think they're just frightened they're going to get called that by general public, you know what I mean? When obviously he's quite clearly not.
Everyone thinks he's racist, but he's not. He's just got like good political views that a lot of people don't understand.
The left aren't too nice to Tommy supporters because they obviously they follow the media a lot, and the media lies quite a lot. So a lot of people are scared to come out and show their faces for that reason, because they'll be labelled the usual Nazi. For supporting their own country, looking after their own, they're called Nazis for this. I think they use the word quite cheaply, to tell you the truth.
They're scared of the tarnished, branded far right, you know, usual catchphrases.
Basically because they don't want to lose their jobs, you know. It's as simple as that. Because these people over here, you know, we're in a class war, you know. This is a class war, what we're in now. Most of the people who are standing over there now are middle class. They live in the middle class suburbs. They don't live in the working class areas like this. They come into these areas and they think that they can influence the working class people, but they don't, because the working class people are waking up to the fact that we're in a class war, you know. And that's the problem that we've got, and Tommy keeps talking about this all the time. Only 4% of the 650 MPs in the House of Commons are working class. The rest of them are all middle class. So we've got middle class people running our country who have no idea of our perspective or our cultural perspective or our history, and they don't care. They can just do whatever they want. We're living in a times now when there's a middle class resurgence in this country, and it's about time the working class has put their foot down and said, look, we've had enough of this. Do you understand me? We want people like Tommy Robinson to represent us. We want people who tell the truth. We want journalists like you. You work for Rebel Media. We want journalists like you. But they're blocking you off because there's a conspiracy between the mainstream media, as you know, and the government. So in effect, we've only got a few hundred people running the whole country. The editors of the newspapers in Fleet Street, the bosses in charge of the TV stations, the national media, and a handful of chief constables, you know, throughout the country. A handful of people throughout the country are imposing this misery upon us, and they're all comprised of members from the middle class suburbs. And people, working class people, should wake up to this. And it's got nothing to do with communism. This is a fact. They all say, well, that's left-wing dribble. It's not. It's a fact. These people, a lot of those people over there are teachers, you know, middle class teachers who brainwash our children in schools. They don't brainwash our children to want to create a world that our children want to live in. They brainwash our children and indoctrinate our children to live in a world which is being imposed upon them by them and the state machine.
He's probably the most lied about man in Britain, you know. There is a feeling within very, very ordinary folk. We see the way this country's going. We especially see the Islamification of this country. And it doesn't sit comfortably. People know that at an instinctive level. I reckon if Tommy was able to get more of a message out, he would have support from, easily 70, 80% of the country. Aunties and uncles are talking about it. Grannies and granddads are talking about it. People are not happy, but they're scared to talk. They're scared of being thinking, you know, they're scared that they're going to be the only one if they kind of raise their voice. And this is what we're up against. It's complete media censorship blackout is what we're up against, yeah.
Do you think that Tommy actually has a lot more supporters than we see?
More so, more. He had 1 million people following him on Facebook till they closed him down. You know what I mean? And you can see only on his Twitter as well the amount of people he had follows, without a doubt. And I think that'll show when the election voting comes up. I hope so.
There is a hell of a lot, to be honest, because a lot of people they hide because of the shame, and sometimes it's because of jobs, or it could be any family reasons. You just don't know, do you know what I mean?
I think he's going to get more and more with that, them shouting stuff like that. More and more are going to support him, aren't they? Really.
Oh, there's a lot more than the events. With them being taken off Facebook and YouTube and other things, it's not helping at all. But he's got a lot of people that did support him before they came off Facebook.
I think it's stronger than people think. It's just people are intimidated by, especially in cities like Liverpool, where there's a Labour left-wing bias. They get intimidated. Anyone who speaks out of right. You've got Jeremy Corbyn, who was here yesterday, calling us fascist and calling us Nazis, that just before Tommy the day before. So people like Corbyn rise people like that up against us, you know. So Tommy's got a lot of support, you know.
I'm here in the UK to report on Tommy Robinson's campaign because I don't trust the mainstream media to do so fairly. To see all my videos